Hello everybody, my name is Farmer Phil. In today's video we have a 5.4 for a plough behind me. Turn on the tractor. We'll lift it up. Might get a better look at it. So we have my uncle's 4 for a slatted board, very wet plough. So it has a lot of extras, we'll go through them. But you probably haven't seen this plough be used, because the last time it was used, now we were ploughing with it the last 2 days after. So what happened was Eric was ploughing with our normal 4x4, the one we always plough with, and while he was ploughing, the shear and the carrier for the shear broke off it, so we need to put on a new carrier and that. And it was like, the weather's good, we don't have the parts, this plough's there, we had the bits to get it ploughing again, and we were like, right, just stick it on. There was, I'll show you after, but there's a piece on the back which carries the slats, and one of them pieces was broke off, so there was a slat off. So we had the new piece that holds the slats, so Lee got that changed, put on the new slat, and then we were ploughing. So what we're doing now is we're going to give this a wash, and then we're going to change all the shears. There's 2 or 3 landslides, that's pretty much it, and pun points. There's no points on it, and the shears are all wore off. But yeah, so you probably wouldn't have seen this ploughing, and that's because it was my uncle's plough, and he last ploughed with, the last time it was used, he used it, and it would have been, we're trying to figure it out, it was either the winter of 2020 or the autumn of 2020 or the autumn of 2021, because he went out to plough a bit with this plough in his 6480, and he done that bit of ploughing, and then that was it, it was parked. We bought all the bits to fix the plough, so that carrier piece, all new shears, points, landslides, all the bits. So it was kind of a thing like, oh, you know, you ploughed it, and then we have all the bits, you know, we get the plough fixed up in the spring and you go ploughing. And it was one of them things we done to try and keep spirits up. There's always something to look forward to get over the winter of that winter, but unfortunately he was never able to get back on the plough. That was the last time he ploughed. And yeah, so the reason we never fixed it was partially because it was just kind of, he was supposed to be ploughing with it next, and it wasn't until the other plough broke, we're like, the weather's too good, we have to get this out, have to get ploughing. So me and Lee took into it one night, and we got pulled out of the back of the hedge basically, and we have it going, we got it ploughing again. And now it's just a matter of washing it, changing the points. There's a bolt gone on that holds the fur, I'll show you. But it's a very wet plough. It's a I don't know how I would say, advanced plough. There's a lot of optional extras, and we'll go through them when we bring it over and we get through it and that. I'll back it over to the power washer, we'll get it washed, and then we'll bring it over to the workshop and we'll start working on it. Just into the workshop, so pull out the very wet, I think it's 20-inch or 24-inch scrape, so that's the distance between the landslide on that to the landslide on that. So that's like the width that it takes, and you can change it then. You want to go narrow, you can narrow it in, or you can have it out wide, whatever way you want. That's what that does. So just have to go back over to that, after dropping clay there, mother's not going to be happy. So just have to go back into the yard, because we bought all the bits for this, but we were taking the bits that fit the other plough from the pile that was bought for this, as in the points and the landslide. So there's one landslide there is completely worn, needs changing. The other ones will last maybe another while, and then we'll change them. So I have to tip it into the yard and bring over the pallet that has the other stuff for the other plough to get fixed. I think there's also some skimmer boards for the other plough in the box. But anyways, I'll go get that and we make a start. Right over the bits, Father Phil has started. Unfortunately, they're not all opening. They're spinning round in there. So instead of just whipping off, the end of them is spinning. So that means they have to be cut. Going to take a good bit longer to get done. Also, something that has to be changed is, you'll see they're tight. That one's covered, but this one here is loose. The bushings are gone on it, and it's not holding the plow, the furrow in place. So while we were ploughing, that furrow was coming back up at an angle, so it wasn't ploughing that well. So you have the new bolt, yeah?
Yeah.
So we get that changed, and then that should solve that problem. And then hopefully, once we get all done, I'm going to bring it out to the field to make sure it's set up and ready to go. Make sure everything is ploughing nice and everything is good. And we'll take it from there then. So yeah, we'll stick the camera on time lapse and we'll get a bit done.
She lays waiting by the shore.
What's your dog barking at? Bertie, Nelly, stop! As you may be able to see here, third furrow here is loose on the carrier. So saddle.
Loose on the frog. Get all
So,
your termination.
Frog.
Frog. That's the frog.
Yeah.
That's the saddle.
So not the leg.
Well, it's the frog leg. On the frog.
Right. So the saddle is loose on the frog leg. The frog's leg. So have to see, can we get it tightened? So I was trying to find the 27 that was on the plough.
Probably on the ground.
Has mysteriously disappeared.
It's not in front of you. She's a teeth to like that, yeah. 27.
Yeah. Yeah, not going to turn with that anyways. Let's see, is this going to tighten?
Well, up to max torque now. Mind the battery. Take the battery, the battery touching that.
That is a new.
Tip of the welder on the nuts and then hit them with the... Hit them with the welder first, and then put the big gun on them.
Right.
Save the bolts. Which spring have we to change? Two of them.
That one.
That one, is it?
Yeah, that one is to be honest, I'd say it'll plough.
It's loose. She's not sitting tight on the butts there.
Huh?
She's not sitting tight. Not enough tension on that spring.
Well, she's only one broken, one bent.
See, she's loose there. See where
She's loose on this.
No, but she's loose there as well. She's moving here. She shouldn't be moving there. Not enough tension on the spring. Now, we'll go behind that
This.
you go get bolts just in case we need them. Because you can go up on the shelf if they're not wanted. Yeah, we'll try that. I doubt it'll open. Maybe it will.
What size?
36, I'll give it back to you.
36. Is it one of these?
Oh, well, it probably is.
Let's see. So there's the new part.
New
So
bushing,
new bush,
bolt.
new bushings, new bolt.
Bushing the floor.
Yeah. One of the bushings totally gone. That'll keep that all tight now, so apart from that moving. I'll get the saddle bolts there and see, can we get that tightened. Once we get that done, then we can flip her over and do the other side. Oh, landslide still has to go on. Have you bolts for that landslide? Also, I said it wrong. It's landside, not landslide. There's a landslide for the other side now. You may notice that landslide is longer than what's on the front there. The reason for that is longer landslides on the back helps keep the side wall of the furrow better for the tractor to go back down the field. And that's what I remember being taught in college anyways. So anyways, we see, can we get this carrier tightened? Saddle. No. It started raining now, and that's not going to work. As you can see, I keep thinking the camera's the wrong way. Back two bolts for the saddle off. So now it's just a front bolt. Bring it around to the side, maybe you might get him, or you get him actually better from this side now, yeah. So I'll just have to try and cut it off, and then new saddle bolts to go onto it. So now that it's cut, it should open. That's the job. Where's the 27 spanner?
Right, tighten it up. Measure 2 nuts there, put that back. Now
we're changing the broken spring. So there's only one leaf of it broke, so it's not
Should punch out now, cut out the pins.
too much. Doesn't want to come out.
Put it back more if you can get back more.
She was a bit more.
Oh, it's a slot.
So, that. How long more is that going to last? Nobody knows, but that has wore. That's what it should look like. Last job now the spring is on is just to retension it. And in fact, if it also retensioned the front two as well, the back one is alright. I haven't it done yet. Just to get more weight on the spring. Once that's done, then we flip it. One landslide, 4 shears, 4 points, and we're done.
Soon she won't be waiting anymore. Bound away. Bound away, yeah. Sailing to the dawn of the day.
And we are rolling out of the yard. Plow behind me. I probably should turn a bit more that way maybe. But we're rolling out the yard. We're going to plow where the sunflowers are going this year, which is where the pumpkins were last year. And I just want to do a couple of runs just to see that the plow is set right. So I'm probably not going to be the one ploughing. Probably Lee or Bro, or it'd be someone else to probably be ploughing. So we'll be at Slurry. We're still 2 full weeks at Slurry, and that's without the phone ringing for ground drying and more wanting to be done. That's just people who are, you know, waiting to get stuff out, kind of under pressure kind of thing. Mark out the field as well, because we'll have to, there's a line where the car park and all the building is going to be going on. No point ploughing past that, so I'll mark that out because I know where it is, so that whoever finishes ploughing tomorrow gets it done. Also have to move the Massey 50 and the pumpkin planter, which was taken off where we finished. Why that happened, I don't know. But the Massey 50, we do need to get her up and running again. We're well on with fencing and that in the new farm, and we could do with it to do minor bits of digging. There's a shower wants a bit of, or a drain wants a bit of cleaning on the end of it to get the water off it, and there's along the river in one spot there's this whole embankment which is holding back water on the field. It just wants an old water cut in it, let the water off. Now get out into the field. How do I get out? I think there's machinery parked everywhere for me to get out. Yeah, move machinery to get into the field and we'll be back there. And that's everything moved out of the way. So, and yes, you may realise as I drive into where I'm going, you may see some stuff in the background you have not seen before. There's 2 demos and 1 upgrade in the yard, and I'm just waiting to get using them. So hopefully some future video you'll get to see all them 3 things that's in the yard. But anyway, so just squeeze on out here past the tanker. Okay, caught in it. I'm going to mark my scribe line to mark the where not to plough past, and then I'm going to start along the hedge along the road, because I'm pretty sure I started that side last year. Do a couple of runs, gets it up, and there's a big boulder in the middle of the field. How Eric ploughed across it, I do not know, but we want to just mark that so whoever's ploughing doesn't run into it, because they could do damage. I'm going to extend my plough. So I'll go from the edge to the shed to where I have a post in the corner, and then that marks the boundary of the farm shop development, which is all that side of me. What I'll do now is I'll turn the plough slightly down so that she'll have 1 scrape in the ground, and then I'll drop it down, get my wheel the right side. All I'm doing is marking a line, so I'm not even ploughing a end. I'm literally just get enough of it in the ground just to mark a line, and then that's the line to plough to. So something I wanted to talk about while we're doing this bit of work. Look, it's tough. It's been a tough year. It is a tough year. There's a lot of people in bother, and it's easy for me to talk about, maybe because, as you can see, our ground is quiet, where it's dry, we're getting plowing, we're getting on with things. But for whatever reason, and for a nice change, we're not getting too much rain compared to the south, compared to the north. We're not getting a lot of rain here. Today we were ploughing or sowing for the beans. Now I'm just trying to remember. I had people in Northern Ireland telling me it was snowing with them, and people in the south telling me it was pissing. And here we were rooting away, and the sun spitting the stones. So, but what I want to get at is, it's not a simple time for farmers, and if anyone is feeling a bit down in the dumps, that's perfectly fine. Yesterday I was absolutely, oh geez, yesterday was a bad day. We were sorting cattle and we were fencing, and we got the 6480 going. Yes, we got her going. We got her man up with his laptop. We had 15 faults. One was limp home, 15 faults, cleared them all, and away she go. She was back to normal. She was horsing it. So then that was like grand. I was going to bring it with me to just drive a few big corner posts while we were fencing, and got to the field, knocked it off, we were putting up fence, went to start it. 1077, she wasn't going to start, and I was, oh, you dirty looking piece of crap. So then that was fine. We went and finished our fence, and we had to sort her lock of cattle. The gator then decides, while we're in the middle of the farm, to ring the shaft for the steering. So it's a universal joint going into a steering, which goes into the orbital box, or into the power rack, or the rack and pinion, whatever way it is. That stub shaft where the joint goes on, rung. And then it was like, well, bug that. So then we tried fixing it, couldn't get it fixed, couldn't get it loaded on the loading shovel to get it home. So to leave it, so that's one of the jobs for tomorrow now, is send Lee up to get that sorted. Then we went back to the 6480. It started, surprisingly. So I drove it back, and I had to come home, I had to give a neighbour a hand, and then I was heading back down to rescue them, because we'd try and live were there, rescue them from the gator being broke. And then what happens? Oh, there's a stick in front of me. Better go and move the stick out of the way. I want to lift the plough a wee bit, because we are going through the heavy trees now. So anyways, then the 64 broke down again, and yeah, just all in all, I could have burnt the tractor yesterday. I was just so fucking sick of it. After I thought we had it going, and then she decides, nah, thank you, I'm not running. It just broke my heart. But just one of them things with just how bad the weather is and that, and how lads are in trouble either with slurry or silage or getting cattle out. It's important to talk to people, talk to a friend, a neighbour, and hell, even if you don't feel like talking to someone in person, you can stick it in a comment under any YouTube video or any online forum, totally anonymous, just to get it off your chest, and it may help the whole situation, because it's not simple. That's all I want to say. Anyone is feeling a bit down in the dumps, talk about it, share it on the comments, talk to a neighbour, whatever. Just don't let it get you down, because the swallows have arrived, and at some point it'll stop raining and the weather will turn back to this. It has to. It's not going to rain from now to the end of time. So I'm trying to get this plough turned over. It's not an easy plough to turn, because you have to go one way and then get it to switch over and then pull the lever the other way. But anyways, the first run wasn't great, but the second run is now where we'll see how she's actually ploughing, because she'll be filling her own furrow. And that's another thing with this plough. There's nothing to stop the wheel going forward, so you spend most of your time trying to get it down, get it up. There's a reason why we didn't really use this plough, apart from what I mentioned at the start, but there's also, it was never my favourite plough. My plough was always the other one, and this was always Uncle's plough. This was his plough, and he absolutely loved it. He would not be happy unless he was in his plow, and that was that. And I'm just looking there, that looks pretty good. That looks, all furrows are nice and level. We'll do another run up and another run down just to confirm, but that looks pretty good. So what she was doing before was, because that bolt was gone and we didn't know till we went out and started ploughing, was that she was cocking that back up a bit, and then she was throwing the fourth furrow on top of the third furrow. So we'll just take it nice and handy in this field, as it can be a wee bit stony. But the other thing that we didn't actually know that this plough done until we pulled it out of the hedge and we were pricking with it, there's pins on the wheel. You can pull the pin and swing it around, so that when you turn the plough over, that the furrows are sitting straight, same way I power washed it. That wheel will run like a jockey wheel on the ground, so you can take the weight off the back of the tractor. Yeah, no, that's ploughing nice now. So that's last year's sunflowers just getting ploughed down there now. That seems to be ploughing quite nice. So we already have the dung out here, out on this. It's just a matter of getting it ploughed down. Now there is a good bit of debris, trash, grass, and some I'd say volunteer guerrilla rape from when the year before last. One more run, then we'll mark the stone, and then we'll leave it at that. Just want to make sure the plough is ploughing right. So by the third run you should be matching like for like. So we'll just plough down to the scribe and then turn. Get her turned over now. Now, away we go. So we may be a little bit shallow on the front furrow compared to the back furrow. So I'm just going to stop there, lift her up, let her back down, and then readjust, shorten the top link so it brings the plough forward. Takes the back furrow up out of the ground, lets the front furrow in further. We'll see how this goes. There's a stony patch there now. Seems to be a little bit better. To change the cross shaft, or the cross slide, because this would have always ploughed on the 6480 with a 650 tyre to fill, whereas this is on 500s. It's on an narrower tyre. I think it's even narrower than 540. It must be 500s or 520s. The ground is ploughing up lovely. Ooh, ploughing up lovely and dry though. Uncle Ian's plough back going, back in operation, and yeah, 6390's ploughing. Hopefully someday that 6480 will be back in an operational manner and we'll get to reunite his tractor with his plough. But not going to happen anytime soon while that tractor keeps throwing up an EirCode. We think it's the fuel temperature sensor, because when she cools down she'll start again, but when she gets hot she 1077 and cuts out the tractor. So that's our brainwave at the minute. We're going to get the man out again to plug it in just to see is that the 1077 code that's coming up now. And yeah, but hey, look, that's the joys of it. So I'm going to leave it at that for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Videos every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday. That's it for me. Good luck.